Welcome to the HB channel. My name is Hans Beekhuizen and in this episode a review of the marvelous Chord Hugo DA converter and headphone amp. Chord converters have my attention for many years now. Their top model, the QDB76 HDSD, QDB for short, is part of my reference set 1 for some years now. Its fantastic impulse response and very open mid-range in particular makes standard CDs sound like high-res on some other DACs. See the written review mentioned in the comments for a full report on my experiences with Chord DACs. Spring 2014, Chord announced the Hugo, a wordplay on You Go since it's a portable DAC plus headphone amp. It can drive up to 3 32 ohm headsets up to 110 dBs. I'm not much of a headphone listener, but I can confirm that the Hugo is able to drive my Sony MDR EX700 earbuds up to ear bleeding levels. I was more interested in the Hugo as a stationary DA converter since it has a further improved version of Chord's WTA filtering. This filtering is programmed into a field programmable gate array, FPGA for short, that has far more computing power than that of the off-the-shelf DA chips. Since Moore's law applies here too, FPGAs become more powerful by the year. The Xilinx Spartan 6 FPGA used in the Hugo is capable of doing about double the number of computational steps than the FPGA in the big QDB. This must lead to even more detailed sound and even less mid-range coloration. The Spartan 6 also uses extremely little power to run. That might be a good thing for the audio. Thermal stress has never helped sound quality, but it is also ideal for portable use. Add to it a digital class D amp and you have a low power consuming high output DA converter and headphone amp. It also provides a line level output that's able to drive almost any load. All connections and controls are on the short sides, with the exception of the volume control that's on the top in the form of a thumb wheel. The top further has one clear and one opaque porthole. The clear porthole shows the PCB and the colored LEDs on it. These are used to indicate input and crossfeed settings. The opaque porthole is illuminated by LEDs that indicate the sample rate. Red for 44.1, purple for 384 and following the rainbow colors all the sample rates in between. For DSD, white is used. On the left are two buttons for selecting input and crossfeed, and next to it are two mini USB connectors. One according to USB audio profile 1, limited to 48 kHz, the other according to profile 2 and thus only limited by the capacity of the Hugo, up to 384 kHz at 32-bit PCM and DSD up to 128. A small power switch is situated on this side too, as is the input for the external switching power supply. The right side holds two 3.5mm and one 6.3mm headphone jack, a stereo line output on a pair of RCAs and SPDIF and Toslink digital inputs. Due to limited space and the recessed mounting of the connectors, not all audiophile cables will fit. My crystal cable interlinks fitted fine, but the AudioQuest 3.5mm jack to RCAs and the Furugaba optical cable didn't. The initial design was even more cramped. The current model has enlarged holes for as far as space permits. For the SPDIF input, an adapter plug is supplied. It's the compromise for portability. On the other hand, since Hugo can be battery operated for 10 to 14 hours and can be charged using the supplied power adapter, people that like battery operated audio equipment are served well. Describing sound is always difficult. You either use esoteric words or you refer to equipment with equal sound properties. If you have ever heard a chord DAC on the proper conditions, you'll understand what I'm about to say. If not, it will be a lot harder. There's this special quality in the mid-range where our hearing is most sensitive. It has to do with transients and is very audible on solo piano, especially in the right hand C5 to B6 for musicians when played forte. On most, if not all, converters in this class, it's like a tone that gets sticky and keeps hanging in the air longer than intended, as if the resonance frequency of a mid-tone loudspeaker is excited. Since it's gone when playing the Hugo, or QDB for that matter, it can't be the speaker. Is it a resonance in the reconstruction filter of many DACs? My ears tell me that it must be a level dependent resonance. Anyway, it's gone with the Hugo and the QDB. It's also absent in DCS converters. It's like Leica lenses compared to the rest. The difference in this case is that the Hugo doesn't cost Leica money, and it's less than a third of the QDB's price. Not that it sounds like the QDB in every aspect. It has the same fingerprint but not the same refinement. It's like a Mercedes S-Class outperforms the C-Class, although both have the Mercedes fingerprint and class. That means that the Hugo is extremely musical, has very good timing, is very emerging. I'm not gonna talk about the high highs and the low lows like you do with lower class equipment. Here, obvious things are taken care of properly and measurements will bring little relevant information. Yes, the Hugo has a linearity that even at minus 120 dB fs only deviates 0.4 dB and has very good noise figures, but that's not what it's about in this class. I've tried to listen to earbuds for some time, but it's not my thing. The in-head localization and being audibly isolated frustrates me. Even the crossfeed function that is supposed to reduce the in-head localization couldn't help me. The sound quality was probably limited by my €300 Sony earbuds, but timbre, dynamics and detail were all far better than when using the iPod or iPhone. Using the iPhone digitally connected to the Hugo over USB did sound hugely better. But again, don't take me serious on judging headphone sound. I'm just not an expert enough in that field. In good chord tradition, everything about the Hugo is odd, except for the sound, unless you would consider very good sound qualities odd, of course. It looks odd, the controls are odd, and even the concept of a costly compact DA converter with integrated headphone amp might be considered odd by many. Seriously, this converter sets new standards on sound quality and versatility in this price range. I heard someone say that it's the best converter south of €4,000. I don't know all converters in that price range, so it's hard to confirm, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. What I do know for sure is that my reference set 2 has a new DA converter. Thank you for watching. You'll find the full review on thehbproject.com. If you have questions or remarks, leave them below this video on YouTube or on my Facebook page. See the YouTube comments for the links. If you like this video, tell others about it and give it a thumbs up.